The best way to describe Ever Oasis would be satisfying. The game starts off a little slow for the first hour, but it sets everything in motion for what's to come, which is a fun action puzzle game with elements from Animal Crossing. However, I will say it focuses primarily on the Oasis building than the combat. The combat is there, and is definitely something you'll be doing a lot, but building your Oasis from its roots is the primary attraction. At least that's how it feels. It's also one of the best looking 3DS games to date, no doubt about that. After the chaos wipes out every other Oasis in the desert, you find a water spirit to create the final one that people will discover and hopefully live in and have hope for safety. This is where the Animal Crossing element comes into it. Residents will either randomly find your Oasis or you'll help them outside of it and they'll promise to visit afterwards. Once they arrive, they'll need a task or two performed before they decide to stay, and once you complete that task, they can set up shop in the Oasis. For this, you'll need to keep stocking up their store for the Newt travellers who come to buy their stuff each day. Keeping everyone happy will grant you many perks. You'll discover new residents. By gaining more residents, you'll upgrade the Oasis. As people decide to stay, they'll give you new items, and by keeping everyone happy, the Oasis itself will grant you more HP and much more than that. Outside of the Oasis, you have a sprawling desert with many paths to unlock, each path more dangerous than the last. As the chief of the tribe, you can obtain various weapons, but each character only has 2 attacks, a quick attack and a stronger attack, with combos unlocked as you level up by defeating enemies. But leveling up I always found to take a really long time. You've also got a dodge roll. As the adventure continues, you'll find residents want to join you on your travels, and they become party members, with a maximum of 3 at a time. Bringing different members is key, as their weapons and abilities help solve various puzzles on the path ahead. Their weapons also have strengths against certain enemies, so it's wise to know their strengths and weaknesses and bring a good range of allies. However, this is where the game stumbles a little. The game is very good at adding convenience for you. You want a team to head out and get items for you, you can send them so you don't have to. Same goes for growing plants. These are all great things. Throughout the land, there are warp points, and you also have an ability to warp anywhere to and from your location during the mission you're currently doing, which is handy. But this feature, whilst handy, is more of an inconvenience. The reason it exists is to switch out party members who have the specific ability you need. The problem is, you have no idea which abilities you're going to need, and once you discover the route you're supposed to take, you'll find you'll probably need 4 abilities overall. This could have been easily rectified by having 4 party members or by telling you what you would need beforehand. I understand. 4 attacking at once might be a little overpowered, but they could have done it where a couple joined you but could never attack or something. It's just a little tedious going back and forth to switch party members. After a while, it just sort of becomes side quest to the game, which arguably is great if that's your thing. The game makes it a habit of unlocking a lot of new things as time goes on, and easily one of the best parts is the labyrinth. You collect slabs throughout the game and you can place them down on a pedestal, and this determines the labyrinth. You've got copper, silver and gold slabs with 5 enemy variations. Depending on what slabs you put down, it will determine what changes. You can get a lot of pretty tough enemies, but also a lot of rare items, and you can refight bosses here, which was a really nice surprise. It's a pretty good place for grinding too. As I said before, this game is satisfying. Building your Oasis is satisfying. Helping your residents is satisfying. Battling enemies and succeeding is satisfying. I like the idea of Animal Crossing, but I find that I personally can't keep going back each day. I find it boring. This has a couple elements from that, but without me having to go back each day, and I really appreciated that. There aren't many bosses throughout the game, but I found that it didn't really matter. The bosses were fun, much like the combat was. It was simple, but it worked. I found that as I was playing Ever Oasis, I just kept enjoying each new trip and new resident that joined, and there was something that just felt right about keeping my residents happy. I can't really describe it, I just had fun with it. It was sort of a methodic joy. If you like elements of Animal Crossing and Zelda, then arguably this is for you, but make no mistake, they're not the same. This is not an Animal Crossing game, and this is not a Zelda game. It's simpler in some ways, and there isn't a deep story, so yeah, it's not a perfect game, but it's also just a really good time. I'm giving Ever Oasis an 8 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching the video, I hope you enjoyed the review. I'd actually love to hear what you think of the game, what you've seen from trailers and this review, and if you've played it already, what you think of it. I'd actually really like to know, because it's interesting. Like, for me, this is a game that I didn't know if I would like because of it was closer to the Animal Crossing aspect in many ways. And I don't know if that's the same for everyone. I don't know if it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. But I did enjoy my time of it. I would have preferred more combat and maybe it not be as side questy and warp here, warp there, warp here, warp there. But I did enjoy my time of it. It was a good game. It was fun. So yeah. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the review, leave a like, subscribe, maybe share the review around. I also have a Patreon with free perks now. You get access to the Discord, you get a shout out each month, and there's also a Persona 5 walkthrough if that's your kind of thing. But I will see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.